I'm going to, I will let you know now. Just give me 2 minutes and I will let you know.
No problem. Take your time.
Yes, you're live. Thank you.
Super moms is equal to happy families. Good evening. Welcome to the third edition of Breaking Barriers. Breaking Barriers is an initiative of Delhi Public School Varanasi, Nasik, and Lava Nagpur. And the idea is collaboration and collective learning. Today, we are here with something special. We are here to celebrate motherhood. The mother is one unsung COVID warrior. She's grappling with many new roles that the lockdown has thrust on her. And she's taking it all in her stride, like she always does. We have 6 amazing or inspiring panelists, 5 stellar moms, and a young lady doctor. Each of these ladies, believe me, is dashing, dynamic, dedicated, dazzling, and delighted to be here today. They are here to share their experiences and tips that will help all moms deal with the COVID-19 blues and thereafter too. We have with us Miss Neha Rahate, a very busy doctor and a food blogger. Miss Gouri Chavan, she's a mommy, a vlogger, a holistic health coach. Miss Nikita Bembi, who calls herself a passionate educator, and she's also the co-founder of Nagpur Moms Club. Miss Renu Panicker, she's an engineer, a Rotarian, and I love this stuff. She's a mompreneur. Wonderful. Miss Shraddha Akula, she's a linguist, a lover of art and music, and she heads operations at DJ Lemon and heads marketing at Tech Elevators. And finally, our 6th panelist is Ms. Sonali Dabak, the founder of Nasik Women Walkathon, a social entrepreneur and fitness enthusiast. Welcome, ladies. Welcome once more to this wonderful webinar. The structure of the webinar would be such that we have a question for each one of them. And I'm sure so do all the moms. They will also have questions who are listening to all of us. The listeners can type in their questions in the question and answer section that is there at the bottom of the screen. Please write the name of the panelist to whom you have addressed the question. With this, we are ready to roll. Yes? Yes, we are. Miss Sonali Dabak is my first panelist. Madam describes herself as a proud mother and daughter. Ma'am, the lockdown has totally upended our lives and has created situations we had never ever imagined. Things at home do get insane. Will you share one such insane moment or experience? How did you deal with it? How about a few pointers for all our participants? How can one stay sane when chaos or pandemonium reigns supreme and nothing goes as planned? Sonali ma'am.
Yes, thank you, Rajashri ma'am. Good evening, everyone, and a very happy Mother's Day to all wonderful mothers here. I hope everyone is able to get my voice. Is my voice clear?
Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. Yeah. So, as you said, this situation we were never before, and this situation was actually we are now in the 46 days of this lockdown, and I guess now we are used to this lockdown. It was insane for us in the beginning, I guess, But as the days goes on, now we all are settled with our routine of lockdown routine, I guess. At least I am settled with my lockdown routine. There are moms, as you rightly said, the mom had the most role to play in this lockdown. Various roles they have to play in the lockdown. And yes, we all face the insane situations. In the beginning, actually, when we all have to deal with the household chores and no household or domestic help, it was a big thing for every one of us. But then we all come up with our own solutions to that. Everyone in the house has their own duties, and everyone choose their own part of the household work. And obviously, everyone made life easy for us. Those who have little kids or toddlers, they had some tough time because keeping their kids and toddlers engaged in the home for 45, 30 days, 24 by 7 is not a easy job. But then we become their I guess fitness trainer, we became their teacher, we became their playmate. We all played that role. Every mother, I guess, played that role. We had so many issues during this lockdown. I mean, I was to wonder ki, अरे हे काय चाललं आहे? I mean, in our routine life, we don't bother about these situations. One day, there was a short circuit in our house, though it was very small thing, and we could manage with that. But there was a short circuit in the house. Then the other day, we had for the 2 days we had a problem with our drinking water. The other day, we had a problem with our fridge. So in a daily routine, we don't bother about this thing because the persons who keep us, like who can solve these problems, mechanics, they are just a call away. But when everything is closed down, and not only closed down, people are not able to move around. So at that time, the first thought come in the mind, the first reaction in our mind is actually the reaction of panic reaction. अब क्या होगा? आता काय होईल माझं फ्रीज बंद पडलेला आहे घरात पाणी येत नाही. But then eventually we all know there is a power within every one of us. We have that strength to deal with each situation. And I guess every one of us got that hidden power of us, that hidden strength of us. Actually, this lockdown was a boon. It was like a blessing that we came to know about our hidden powers, our hidden strength, not only our hidden powers and strengths, but there were so many people around us who stood up to the situation, who did extraordinary work. Businesses come up with very good social initiatives with helping each other. People come with helping each other. Many people I know, they give the cooked food, they give the ration, and they stood up the situation. So we all in this lockdown, I guess, though we were apart, we all were very together, and at this, we all know that though we are apart right now and can't meet each other, we are together like never before. मनाने आपण सगळे एकमेकांच्या खूप जवळ आलो असं मला वाटतं. And then yes, we learn new skills also. Now this webinar thing, which never come in my life before the lockdown, but now I am attending webinars, and I'm learning from so many people through various webinars. So I guess seniors also, my mom, dad, above 65, they are also now getting used to this Skype thing and video calling thing, because now no one can meet each other. So this is the actually blessing that we are learning new things in life. And this is going to be a part of our life, I guess. And the most important thing, what I observed during this lockdown, that kids come up as our biggest supporter, because the way they adopted the situation easily and calmly, they give us a they give us a new challenge to learn new things. And all over where I watched, the kids are most flexible. Kids were more flexible than us in this lockdown situation. What you asked about the pointers, so few pointers which I found for myself, that healthy mind and healthy body is very necessary and essential for everyone. And especially when we come across such situation, which we never faced before, or we imagine that this type of situation can come in our life. So to deal with such situations, healthy mind and body is very essential, and we need to work on that. It should be a part of our life now onwards. It's a must thing that we should do something for our healthy mind and our healthy body. The second thing which is takeaway for me is we need to practice more the attitude of gratitude. Though we respect the people, I mean our domestic help or our security guard or any other person or a shopkeeper, we respect them, we have attitude of gratitude towards them, but we need to increase that attitude of gratitude more. There are people who are very, I guess we are taken for granted to them, and there are so many people. And this realization, this lockdown brings this realization to me that there are so many things which I take for a granted and never given so much attendance to their presence around me. So we need to practice more attitude of gratitude. Also, I guess this COVID or Corona is going to stay with us for more months, maybe for a year. So we need to have new skill sets to tackle with this. Also, we need to teach our children how to, not just to our children, but we need to teach ourselves also कि now masks, social distancing, washing our hands, more hygiene is going to be a part of our life for next few months, for next year. So we need to acquire those skills. Also, we need to become a more self-sufficient so that we can tackle the situation. The most important thing which I found out, we should have at least one hobby or a skill which through which we will be able to serve the society, not just for ourselves, but we should have at least one hobby or one skill which will be which will make us able to serve the people, to serve the society. Also, what I found, we should have financial literacy. Financial literacy is a very big have a very big meaning, and we should be very sound with our financial plannings. So the situations with this like this will not upset us on that front, because sometimes anxiety and pressure or frustration comes when we think about the financials of our and our family's financial things. This is the thing. Also, the thing is now our kids are going to have a more screen time than now, because I guess schools will come up with the online activities more in the current situation. So we need to tackle with that online time, their on screen time, not only for our kids, but our screen time is also going to increase now. Maybe it's a TV or it's watching social media or attending webinars. So our screen time is increasing. So we need to have that exercise or that thing also. We should need to acquire new skills. Also, the main one more thing which I think we should have. The last thing which I want to add here is our the last thing which I want to add is the self-sufficientness doesn't mean that we will not require the person, or we are not or we are not respecting the other person. But the self-sufficient thing is that though that person is there, we are also able to do the things, because there were so many things which I found that I was not able to do at all, because I don't have that skill sets and I don't know that thing. But there is a time now that I will have to acquire new skill sets, and I have a changed life ahead for sure. So with this, we need to live. We have a changed life, and I guess it is a change for better, I think so, because it have taught us so many things which we never learned before in the normal life. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. There are so many takeaways from that. One way she said of dealing with that chaos is, I mean, putting it in simple terms, division of labor. Each one does something and contributes in some way. Ma'am, what I loved about what you said is that you found that the children to be your biggest support. And here I've had mothers complaining कि बच्चे घर में हैं, उनका हम क्या करें? और आप कह रही हैं कि सबसे flexible and the most supportive of all you found were your children. Another point that we really need to note, women, most of us, I don't make a general statement, is about financial literacy. Yes, that is one area that we probably never pay much attention to, you know. But as long as you are getting your household expenses met, something as simple as getting something online, it is, we find it simpler to just walk to the shop and buy it. But yes, that is another skill set that we need to learn. And yes, what is and what could be emotionally very fulfilling is, as you said, a hobby that will help us serve society. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sonali ma'am. I'm sure there have been so many takeaways for so many people out there. My next question is addressed to Ms. Shraddha Akula. Now, Shraddha ma'am has been teaching French for 12 years now. And when you look at her profile, oh, she seems to don so many hats with so much panache. Now, ma'am, at this time and even otherwise, mothers can and do get overwhelmed by the expectations and responsibilities that they have to shoulder. It becomes, is it becoming harder to balance life, family, and career? A very big question that I need to ask is, are mothers today in pursuit of perfection? Are they facing greater degrees of internal conflict? You know, our mothers and our grandmothers' roles were very clearly defined. There were no gray areas.
Right.
The home was their bastion, right? But that is not the case
Absolutely.
today, isn't it?
Right.
Are they facing greater degrees? Are you, as women, facing greater degrees of internal conflict? What would you tell all the moms listening to you and who are striving to become super moms? Shraddha ma'am, over
Yeah.
to you.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. What you said is right. Absolutely. The moms are always straddling the two worlds. And it's very natural to feel guilty and feel, feeling of being not good enough. So, however, I found myself not competing with other moms, but participating in my own internal competition. So, I always had these questions that, am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? Is my child eating well? Am I the best mom that my kid deserves? Is my husband happy? Is my husband proud of me? Is he enrolled in right activities, my little one? Or is my house clean? Is my little one clean? So I usually hardly cared about what others thought, or hardly had any societal pressure, but a constant battle that I fought with myself regarding all these emotions that I went through. So the truth is, whether will I ever know if I was doing it right, or whether what I thought was right. But maybe through receiving validation, yes. But hence I understood at a very early stage of motherhood to trust my instincts. सबकी सुनो पर मन पे विश्वास रखो, right? So yes, I understood at very early stage that you have to just trust your parental instincts, because sometimes you might make mistakes, but that's fine, because mistakes can lead you to horizons. Some mistakes can be beautiful. Yeah, so why give anyone a chance and make you feel guilty, because the person doesn't know your side of story and you don't know his. So why judge? So exactly what your inner voice says and feels right, you have to do it, and then the world comes after. Also, the question that you asked about what would I suggest the other moms about being, super mom. So not a super mom, but yes, a great mom. I feel you have to be your own cheerleader. do not wait for validation. You have to trust your instinct. Be a mom who still needs help and doesn't refrain from asking for help. Take help from your husband, in-laws, parents. And luckily, I'm one of them that who asks for help, and I get that help. So I think it is very important to be honest with yourself first and then your family, instead of burning out of the pressure cooker, I would say. You have to be true to yourself. And I am one of such moms who is self-sufficient, but still asks for help. I'm wearing my invisible cape always, but would ask for help, wouldn't feel bad about asking for help. And yes, who's energetic, who's easygoing, crazy, weird, also who has also made peace with herself that, how much ever I try, how much ever I enroll my little one in different activities, make him do art and craft, teach him foreign languages or music, he is still going to watch the screen for 30 minutes or more, because that's your sanity. You have to find your sanity and you have to be at peace. Happy mothers make happy children. You must have heard this. Yeah, so that's true. So also, I would love to tell all the moms and all the girls, everybody basically, you have to spend time with your friends. And, it's important being listened to and to listen to them, because spouses won't necessarily have time to listen to you. So if you have a, excuse me, great bunch of friends who find time for you, who spend time with you, and you can unwind yourself and relax yourself, there is no judgment passed. That's the best life. So have a life outside your work and work outside of life. That's I would suggest to everybody.
Wonderful, wonderful. So many takeaways and age no bar for those takeaways. Shraddha, what you've just shared is beautiful. This feeling, as you said, that I'm not good enough. Maybe nobody expresses it so, but it comes from within. And what you so rightly said, that be your own cheerleader. Give yourselves a pat on the back that, yo, this is a good job that I have done. And asking for help, I think that is one big mental block that we all mothers need to get over. As you rightly said, it is very, very okay to ask for help. How do you ask for help? Can you just share one small incident?
So basically, I take classes from home. I teach French, and my little one, Ahan, we stay in the same building, my in-laws and I. So I send him down for 2-3 hours, and they know that, she's teaching upstairs and hence he's downstairs. So, or I send him to my parents. So while I'm at work, even Ahan knows and he's well aware that, okay, this is mommy's time and she needs to work right now. So I can be myself or do my activities, or I can be with my Ajia Zuba.
Right. There is a small chat that has come up. It says that although you be your own self, the family and other people are still judging you, maybe for spending more time at work or with your friends, and it's quite a challenge. How do you overcome that? Shraddha, have you been able?
Your voice is breaking.
My voice is breaking. There is a question here that even if you tell yourself that it's okay to spend time with friends and be at work, the family still judges you. What do you do then? No? Shraddha? Okay. Shraddha, please read the chat, and maybe we can come back to this question at the end. Right. My next panelist is Ms. Renu Panicker. Now, Renu ma'am is passionate about her work and her family. And at work, her passion is operations and human resource. Ma'am, I would like to share a little bit of data over here with you. A survey by ASSOCHAM revealed that 25% of highly qualified women in India abandon their professional lives to raise children. You, as a supermom, you are successfully juggling work and home. How do you manage this? And what will you tell all those mothers who are still struggling? I think this can, to a large extent, you can answer the question that I was asking of Shraddha. Yes, Renu.
Regarding this particular question, like when I started my work and I entered into the entrepreneurial line, my children were quite small, and but I had my priorities very clear in my mind that where I need to reach, or rather, I would not say that priorities were like what I need to achieve in life, but my thought process was very clear. Yeah, this is what I need. And in that particular, many of the times I did face situations where I felt, I need to quit, especially when my children started school, the school studies, their activities. There were many situations where I felt, I should quit. But something pondered my mind. Once they fly off, they grow up, what will I do? So that thought process, like, gave it to my mind that no, I need to, really come up to the ground and make them realize that, mommy is working, we need to study, we need to do our work. So when I had a very supportive family, my husband is quite supportive in my career. And while spending time with my kids, I brought a very discipline in my thoughts and my day-to-day working day styles. And next, what I did with my children is like instilling value systems in my children. That was one of the places where I, as a mother, I feel I have succeeded. And what instigated me is looking on back to my childhood. I could see that what did I gain from my parents were the courage, the love, the respect, the compassion. All these things, what my parents had given me, that is what is making me move ahead. So I, as a mother, I felt that I should give back that to my children, and that is their biggest takeaway from a mother. Then my observation was millennial children are very keen observers. They observe you very keenly. So we should act to them in a way that they observe the positives. And challenges, whatever comes our way, the challenges has to be looked up in a very positive manner, may it be at work, at home, in society. We should look at challenges in a very positive way that raises the spirit of our children. When they come back home and they share something of low, which made their day low, we should make them come out from it, rise from there. So that is one place where I have really worked with my children. And apart from the discipline, on some days even I feel lazy. So I just pat myself and say, hey, absolutely, Renu, it's okay that you can be lazy today. So the same when my children show some laziness, I feel, let them just be lazy and ease around today. It's okay. So that sort of openness between kids, that has absolutely engaged my relation with them in a very positive manner. And I'm a very talkative person with my close people. So like I have a habit of going and laughing and, going behind my children. Hey, how was your day? What did you do? So sometimes, especially I have a teenager boy, he gets irritated when I go and he cribs for that. So then I turn this cribbing into a conversation where he opens his mind out to me. That is how I have a conversation start with him. Then like passion. Cooking is one of my passions. I really like spending a lot of time in cooking. So I try to cook what my kids like, what my family likes. And then we dine together on the weekdays. So weekdays when we dine together, dinner is the only time we are together Monday to Friday. So while we have our dinner together, some conversations on the food happens, and from there it diverts and we spend quite good time together. This is the schedules, how I connect with my children, and that has absolutely been very good with me. And apart from all these things, I have always, because I handle the human resource in my company, it is like I connect with people in a very emotional and spiritual level. So, and to me, spirituality is not anything connected to any other areas. It is raising your own spirit's spirituality. It can be through your passion. It can be through gardening. It can be through having a pet, you know, and it having gardening or pet, like I was very much overwhelmed when my 10-year-old son during this lockdown, he told me, Mommy, I am feeling gratitude in the air we are breathing. So that is a place where I really felt, yes, I have given it back to them in a very positive way. And about emotional connect, I work a lot on emotional intelligence of the team whom I am handling. So the same I put across in my home also. I work very hard on the emotional quotient of my kids. That is a place where I have created empathy to my children, thinking and understanding about their feelings and their how to communicate to them, how to appreciate them positively. Because if you create a positive emotional bank balance, you can withdraw from the balance anytime. So emotional bank balance is giving a hug, appreciating, saying a thank you, saying a sorry, saying, hey, Adi, you have done it. Or Ayan, yes, you have done it. So when I create that balance, when I have to be strict with them, I can withdraw. So the balance never goes to the negative. It is always in the positive. So you have to create a positive emotional bank balance. So that is how I have worked on the emotional and spiritual quotients of my children. And I'm very happy that the IQ is being carried properly in the school level. So that is absolutely done. Physical quotient by activities, physical exercises children are managing. So the EQ and the spiritual quotient is the place where I have been working with my children, and it has given me very positive results. And I am very happy to have two boys with me, one in the teenage and one at age of 10. So absolutely, it's a pleasure to have them with me inside the house during this lockdown. They manage Google Classroom as well as activities, and as well they are engaged helping me also. So I'm happy about it. Yeah, thank you.
Right, ma'am. I think you have, to a large extent, answered quite a few queries. That is, one, you said that your roadmap all along was absolutely clear, and you knew where you were going, right? At the end of the day, you wanted something for yourself that would be yours when the boys grew up and had lives of their own, isn't it? That is really very, very important, because we moms tend to live now in the present moment and don't think about what after the children grow up. So that is wonderful. And I think what we all will take away today is from you majorly is the attitude of gratitude, this positivity that with which you are facing and will continue to face every challenge, because life is not easy, isn't it? And we have to be ready for all the challenges that it is throwing at us currently, too many for our liking, isn't it? Thank you, Renu ma'am. And this brings me to the next panelist, who is Nikita Bembi ma'am. Ma'am, as I said, that this lockdown has totally upended our lives, and it has been a learning phase. We heard Sonali ma'am tell us how she is learning something new every day during the lockdown, and even Renu ma'am shared with us. You are also a master's in child psychology and is the founder of Moms Club, which is a support group for moms to be and mompreneurs. Ma'am, what, according to you, would be the new challenges for moms when we do resume normal life? Because the new normal is going to be very different from what we are used to. What, and again, I would like to know from you, what, according to you, would be the new normal? Nikita Bembi, ma'am, please.
Hello, can you
Yes,
hear
ma'am.
me?
Yes, ma'am, please.
Hi, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all, firstly. And I hope you all are doing good and you're home and safe. Yes, this lockdown has been a learning phase for all of us, and priorities have indeed changed. And there are going to be a few challenges when we reopen, and there are going to be some positive new normal which is coming in, I believe.
Yes.
So I think challenges are not going to be too much because we all kind of have dealt with the challenges in the lockdown itself. So challenges are not going to be very difficult um, or very tough for us. But there are going to be a few challenges for sure because we will be maintaining social distancing for a very long time. And being a young mom, I feel with toddlers around, it's very difficult to encourage them for social distancing because it's tough to, you know, educate them about social distancing. So I think that's going to be one big challenge for moms of toddlers or below the age group of 5 years. And for even young moms, sanitization and hygiene is going to be a little tough. Though I'm very sure, and I can see my mom friends and everybody, encouraging and educating our little ones also that they have to sanitize their toys well. They have to, keep their rooms clean, and we make sure that the kids are washing their hands and then moisturizing it because their hands are drying out. So I think these are going to be small house challenges for young moms. Then I think the mom were in the middle age category, they're not very technically friendly, so they are going to have a little bit of challenges to use all these online applications, learn online banking. And I think a lot of mothers have already learned how to order groceries online and how to do their Google Pay and how to use Zoom.
Oh, yes.
I know a lot of young mothers who are, being very technologically friendly and are learning, and that's updating themselves, which is really good. So it's going to be a little challenging, but we'll accomplish it for sure. And I think for grandmothers, one challenge is going to be to make sure that their health is the priority because they are prone to their immunity levels are low, so they are prone to any kind of infection, and this is going to go a little longer. So I think for our grandmothers, so we also, everybody should contribute towards that, which is the medical part and the health. So they should make sure, and we all should kind of inculcate yoga and pranayam and stop walking on the streets because that's not safe. So that's kind of a few things which are going to be challenging. But one major challenge for the entire nation, for me to educate my friends, family also, is going to be making sure that we use Indian products. So I think it's going to be a little tough for all of us to inculcate, and the most challenging thing to use only made in India products, because we are so dependent on, other countries manufacturing for us and sourcing Chinese inbuilds. So I think the most toughest part for the entire nation, mothers, young mothers, old mothers, our kids, is going to be, inculcating the habit of buying made in India products, which is going to be the most challenging, and it's very important. So I really want everybody to, start working on it and encourage this, because this is going to help us to, it's going to contribute in the growth of our economy also, because the other second national challenge for mothers and everyone is going to be the finances, and
Right.
bringing in together the country and economical growth. So we have to be a little wisely planned with our finances also. As mothers, mom play an important role with the domestic expenses. So I think we should, moms, I think it's a little challenging, but you can do it. Just encourage to, reuse and recycle products and be more planned. This is going to be challenging, but please inculcate, and reduce your trash and garbage and reuse them, so that, we contribute at home like this, and then we contribute in the entire nation like this. If we recycle, we again save nature, which is challenging right now with whatever is going on. And so I think, we can do it. It's challenging, but it's not that tough. And yes, the new normal is actually going to be better than the past, I believe. So I think we should keep in the positivity. If you are affirmative towards the future, it turns out to be positive. I believe in this. And I think it's very psychological also. If you think positive, you process positive. And if you process positive, the others process positive, and everybody, the chain goes on. So you are positive, your kids are positive and happy, your family is, your husband will go and meet somebody else, he will take forward the positivity. So like this, we contribute. So it's going to be very positive, and we are going to bring in a lot of kindness and appreciation towards a lot of things in our new normal, which we didn't earlier. We were not very kind and appreciating towards our government. So I think after we reopen and the new normal will be, we will have more appreciation towards our community helpers, all the people working for the municipal corporation, in government offices, our warriors, doctors, and we will have more respect towards our doctors, nurses, police, and all those community helpers who are putting their, full efforts for this. So I think the new normal is going to bring a lot of kindness in us, which is the good part. And I think the new normal is also going to inculcate responsibility. I think we all will be more responsible towards Mother Nature, which we weren't earlier. This lockdown has taught us that, we are going to be more responsible towards making sure that there is lots of greenery, we plant our own trees, water, inculcate children to, promote the environmental activities by recycling also. That's also one thing which is going to be a responsibility. So we'll be more responsible in the new normal. And I think one very big new normal, the change which will come in new normal will be, we will be more hygienic as a community. And I think we will be very good citizens, and we will maintain public hygiene, which is going to be the best part. I can see now also parents, mothers are being so careful about the hygiene at home, about the sanitization. So I think we will have special care towards hygiene. We will maintain our public properties. We will maintain our parks. We will be more responsible, kind citizens. So I think the new normal is going to make us better human beings, full of kindness, responsibility, appreciation. So I would just like to say that I'm looking forward to the new normal, and I think it's going to be full of positivity and kindness and love for each other. And yes, the challenges are going to be there, but when we are together, we will be able to resolve everything and, resolve our challenges and go for it and be good individuals and good human beings, and a happy family and a happy nation. So I would like to end with this. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So much to take from there. Yes, it's not just our day-to-day lives that have been upended and that has changed. I think at the end of all this, we all will also will have become better human beings, isn't it? Because gratitude, things like you've said, we are learning to recycle, reuse, because you cannot keep buying new things, and yes, buying stuff that is made in our country. So make in India and use what is Indian. It's not just us, as when children see us doing all these things unknowingly, we are passing on these values to them also. So yes, the new normal will be very different. And going by what you said, the new normal, I believe will be a better normal, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, yes, surely it's going to be much better. We are
Do
going to
we-
be more respectful towards each other, kind, and kind towards nature, human beings. We are going to be better human beings after this lockdown.
Yes, yes, we are going to be more humane and not take so many things for granted. Small things, like just going out for a walk or even meeting your friends for a cup of coffee or taking your children to play in the park. Things that we totally took for granted till now. We will not be doing that anymore, isn't it? Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Our next panelist is multifaceted. Miss Gouri Chavan. She describes herself as a curious soul who wishes to spread the message of wellness and mindfulness, and she loves to spark insightful conversations about modern day parenting. A tough job. Mothers are like glue. They hold the family together. In what ways do mothers need to hold the family together, ma'am? And will you share with all of us the small and big things you do to keep your family together, especially at times like these? Gauri, ma'am?
First of all, thank you so much, DPS School, for this opportunity, and happy Mother's Day to everyone around here. I'm sure we didn't envision spending our special day in isolation like this, but it is what it is, and the sooner we accept it, the better it is going to be for all of us. For us as a family, there are two factors that helped us process this pandemic, and that was adaptation and acceptance. I look at this a little differently. We have been through testing times like these earlier. You know, there was the Y2K, there was tsunami, there were hurricanes, there was the SARS, there was polio, and as humanity, we did persevere and we did come out of it eventually. So I look at those episodes and the fact that we came out of that, let's just take that as a blueprint for hope that this is also going to end and we are going to survive this and we are going to come out of it eventually. So I think we need to process this in a way that we can manifest it to our kids in a healthy way as well, because our kids will feed off our anxiety and will feed off how we are actually reacting to this whole scenario. Also, ma'am, the way you mentioned that a mother is a glue, it is so true. I can't think of any other word that describes a mother, because just as a glue that holds everything together, and yet you can't really see that glue. That is exactly what a mom does, right? I mean, she holds the family together and nobody is really aware of what she's doing, but she's doing what needs to be done to keep everyone binded. I think this word mom, it evokes so many emotions. It evokes care, it evokes nurturing, it evokes that hand on your forehead when you're sleeping, you know, that feeling of home and comfort. But uh, a mom is so much more than that, you know. Like, we are also humans, and you know, we can make mistakes, and we have to be okay with that fact. It's fine to make mistakes. I think we have to get rid of all the conditioning that there was before this. Firstly, I would like to start by shredding these labels that are given to moms, you know, like perfect or ideal or goddess like, or even super for that matter. Why don't we just all strive to be good enough moms? And I think that'll be enough for all of us. So just as the tagline of today's talk is super moms is equal to healthy and happy families, I think every mom by default is a super mom, because I think we are all doing the best of our capacity, actually the zenith of our capacity, to take care of our families and our children. So by default, all of us are super perfect goddesses. And We don't need to label ourselves like that. As a holistic health coach, I have come up with certain suggestions for all the moms out here, certain things that have helped me be sane and be, I won't say happy, because I think happy is again a too over abused word these days, because let's just accept it, we're not really happy. So just being sane is something that we should strive for. And there are some ways that have helped me process this current scenario, and I hope it helps you as well. So the first thing is self-care. I have always believed that you cannot fill from an empty cup. As mothers, we are always conditioned to believe that we are supposed to be giving and we are supposed to be sacrificing all that we have. But if we keep doing this, how are you going to fill your own cup with happiness, with joy, with self-growth, or with simple relaxation? So I think in our family, we have made it a very important factor during this lockdown. How we have figured out self-care for all of us is by scheduling 2 hours of me time, of that self-care time for everyone in our family. So whatever we can do, whatever we want in those 2 hours, we can take up a course online, or we can learn something new, or we can simply just watch a movie. So there are no judgment attached to that self-care time that we indulge in. And once I come out of those 2 hours, I am so refreshed and so happy that I manifest that happiness onto my kids and my family as well. So it is a win-win for everyone. So I urge all you mothers to please indulge in some sort of self-care, and it can look like anything. It should not be as rigid as learning a skill or reading a book. It can be simply watching TV or relaxing in a bathtub, or just doing nothing at all. So self-care is the number one thing that I think all of us should invest our time in these days. The second is fitness, some sort of physical movement. I know it sounds cliche, but trust me, exercise is the most underrated antidepressant that there is. And it is exercise that helps our mental capacity to react to stress. It helps that capacity to strengthen 3 times. And this is an excellent time to do that, with this whole fear and anxiety in the air. We have to be strong from within for our families and to fight off this illness. So what I do is I start off my day before everyone gets up, so that I get that 20 minutes of physical exercise and 10 minutes of meditation. And trust me, this has just changed my perspective through the whole scenario, because I get up refreshed, I sleep on time, so the entire cycle is balanced. So I urge all of you to invest your time in exercise. It doesn't need to be a hardcore, high intensity workout. It can be simple guided yoga on YouTube, or just doing something that feels good for your body. So fitness is one thing that has really helped me be sane through the lockdown. Number 3 is accepting the fact that you do you. This wave of uncertainty is different for everyone, okay? There are some mothers who are indulging in a lot of brain developing activities for their kids, or they are doing some Pinterest inspired recipes, and they're also looking marvelous. But that need not be your reality. There is also a possibility that doing all these things is a coping mechanism for those moms, but it should not look the same for you. I think Shraddha very well mentioned about guilt and shame that mothers experience because of the comparison that we end up doing. So I think we need to accept that we are unique in our own ways. Your house may be dirty, your kids might be watching a lot of TV, and you might have ordered takeaway, like you might have ordered food from outside once in a while. But I just want you to know that it is fine. Nobody is going to judge you or judge your kids or judge your house. So I think we need to really accept that it's okay to be unique in certain ways. One way you can do this is by distancing yourself from mothers, or or from social media accounts that set up unrealistic expectations for you, because the last thing you want to feel right now is shame or guilt or any negative emotion. The fourth thing that I do to keep myself sane is listen to some sort of spiritual or a motivating podcast or interviews. In times like these, when human interaction is restricted, it is quite possible for us to go into a downward spiral, wherein we just keep thinking about, oh my God, people are dying. Oh my God, what will happen to my kids? When will the vaccine be out? What about finances? So, keeping a distance from these fear inducing news and fear inducing news feeds that you experience, you can listen to motivating spiritual podcasts by whoever inspires you. For me, it is female entrepreneurs like Oprah Winfrey or Michelle Obama or Priyanka Chopra, for that matter, because I think all ladies in some semblance, we're all sailing in the same boat. So it's nice to use each other's success stories as ways to inspire each other and not to pull each other down. So I just plug in a podcast and go about my day. I can be cooking, I can be cleaning, I can be doing anything else, and still feeding fodder to my brain that helps me be happy and content throughout the day. The fifth activity or fifth suggestion that I would like to give is taking one day at a time. I think that has been my mantra ever since I became a parent. And I think our kids are the best examples of mindfulness, Just have you ever noticed how your kid enjoys taking a bath, and how he just cherishes every movement? And I think this is what is missing today, because I think the overindulgence of social media or overindulgence of junk and of all these distractions that are trying to pull us in 100 different directions all the time. So we need to take a lesson from our kids in mindfulness, and we have to indulge in everyday activities and find the beauty in the ordinary. Like, when was the last time you sang your favorite song in the shower? Or when was the time that you noticed those little bubbles in the shower? Like, these things will help you be stable, be calm and be balanced. And I think that is what your family really needs right now. So take one day at a time and consciously set away your devices during specific times, like, teaching your kids something, or, while cooking, or while spending time with yourself. Because I think that isolation, that true isolation, will really help you elevate your consciousness, and it will help you be a good enough mom, because that's what we should strive for. So I hope these suggestions help you. And just from a mom, I want to tell you one thing, that there has to be this deep feeling of gratitude within all of us right now, because that feeling of gratitude is going to pass on to our families and our kids, and that is how they are going to calibrate how they handle anxiety or stress or any sort of change, like this change that has happened in the environment. That is how the kids are going to process it. So if you are mindful, if you are grateful, if you are okay with what the situation is, I think your family and everyone around you can be happy as well.
Right. I mean, what you really want to say is, if you are happy with yourself, then you can keep people around you happy, promote happiness, isn't it, ma'am?
Yes, absolutely.
Isn't it? So you being at peace with yourself first is what is most important. And here you've spoken so much about our mental health, self-care, fitness. takes care of the physicality of it, but accepting your reality. Yes, what you so rightly pointed out. We are so inundated with these pictures of perfect moms. You know, they're bound to give you a complex. You spoke about seeing a video on, say, yoga. The person performing or doing the asanas there doesn't have an ounce of extra flesh on her body, and then you come out of it feeling worse about yourself. But then, yes, if you accept yourself the way you are, and you are mindful of all that is happening within you, we really need to look into ourselves. Beautiful ones. Thank you so much. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As questions come up, I will definitely be getting back to you. But from mental health, I would like to move to physical health and take my next question to Dr. Neha. We just heard Gauri ma'am talk about being at peace with yourself, and only then can we look at others. There's a wonderful comment regarding what Gauri ma'am just said in the chat box. It says that it's like, putting your own oxygen masks first, and then you can help only then can you help your children breathe in fresh, clean air, so to say, symbolically. Neha, the question that I have for you is that to be a stellar mom, to be a super mom, you have to be super fit, isn't it? Gauri ma'am spoke at length about how to be at peace with yourself. But what about the physicality of it? These days, incidences of depression, of muscle and joint pain, of menstrual irregularities, early menopausal symptoms, dry skin, premature graying among mothers is on the rise. This is what my research tells me. You are the doctor, you know better. But in a situation like this, what advice or tips would you give to all the moms listening to you?
Yeah, thank you for the question, ma'am. First of all, I would like to thank everyone to make me a part of this discussion, even though I'm the youngest member present here on the panel today. So I would like to say, if we look at the conditions in a broad way, things have changed a lot in last 10 years. Now there are a lot of changes in the lifestyle, the stress strains in the people, and which has led to adverse effects mainly on the women's health. That is because women tend to take more stress of day-to-day life, and they tend to achieve that perfection for everyday life. So this has led to development of so many diseases like PCOD, there is early graying, then there is osteoporosis, which is like the weakening of the bones due to the stress and the deficiencies. So I would like to say here that we need to avoid these, and this is a very perfect and correct time to take corrective measures to avoid these diseases moving further. So what we can do is that I tell everyone that we can adapt a very healthy lifestyle, and lockdown is the perfect time to inculcate those habits in our life. So the basics are to start with daily exercise. I know that with no house help easily available right now, all the mothers and the females in the house are working day and night, and at least 2 hours every day they are giving in the kitchen to make sure to give that perfect, delicious food to their family and kids. And at the end of all the household work, all the mothers must be very tired, very exhausted, and they don't get time for themselves. So here I would like to say that no matter what, a day has 24 hours, all the mothers have to take out time for their daily exercise. And exercise is so essential that you won't realize its importance now, but once you start aging, like once you start your age of above 50, that is when the early signs you will see. And if you have been doing exercise, you will realize, thank God I started the exercise before itself. Now, other is like the mothers complain, what is exercise basically? So here I would like to say that the daily household work is basically exertion and exercise and respiratory rate for minimum 10 minutes of time. This leads to so many good changes in the body and secretion of endomorphins, which will keep you happy. and help you concentrate, and that will help you work even more efficiently in your day-to-day life. So here I would also like to mention about the dietary supplements that we have been taking. Due to modernization and easy available of internet nowadays, we look for shortcuts, we look for things that are, easily in one step we can achieve. So for this, nowadays ladies tend to take these diet supplements and weight loss pills, which we get. These pills and these supplements are never sold by any medico. These are sold by non-medico people, and they are extremely dangerous for the health. And they have a very toxic effect on your liver and your kidney. So mothers should stay away from that as well. So basic advice health-wise for all the mothers to stay fit is to inculcate a daily exercise habit, to have a good sleep, minimum 6 to 8 hours of soundful sleep. And for that, I would say nowadays there is overuse of screens in our daily life, which is the mobile and which is the laptop. So minimum 1 hour before we go off to bed, we should just pause it all, just stay with our family and talk to them, and just not have any screen time, because there is a component in our body which is known as melanin, which looks after the sleep cycle. And because of the screen light, the melanin secretion decreases and it is very dangerous. So there are many harmful effects of the modernization and of the easy availability of internet. So we need to take a point of that as well. Other thing is that I would like to talk about the diet. Just because we are at home and not having outside food, we tend to have a lot of oily and lot of sugar, and we just say कि अरे घर का बना है, healthy होगा, अच्छा ही होगा. But it is really dangerous. This is the time we should stay away from any sort of refined food, processed sugar, and we should just stick to our basics. The best thing is to think that we have gone back 50 years back when there was no Maggi, no frozen food, and stick to that kind of diet. That is the best kind of food that we can give to our body. Yes, ma'am.
Right. So take time out, whatever it is, 10 minutes, 15 minutes to exercise, because housework is exerting. You get exertion and not exercise. So you really need to take that time out. And yes, diet is very, very essential. Let us look at this lockdown as a boon. We are automatically away from restaurants, from hotel food, from outside food, and old recipes which our moms and grandmothers used to cook are now back in vogue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you so much, Neha. We have two questions that were there. There is one question which I open to any one of you who would like to answer. This lady is probably the mother of a toddler, and she says that how do we keep our toddlers engaged at home, as it is really difficult to get them busy. With teenagers, you can have them onto some courses, or involve them in your housework, or even say older children, 5, 6, 7, they can be made a part of your household chores. But how do you keep a toddler engaged? Anyone who would like to answer? Someone? Shraddha?
Hello again. Yes, this is an interesting question. I'm a mother of a toddler myself, who is 2.5, and I'm a child psychologist, and I've been a kindergarten teacher for 7, 8 years. I feel it's the easiest to handle lockdown in this period, because they don't understand too much about it, and it's easy to divert their mind. So, but yes, their energy levels are very high. And if you're in a nuclear family, it's tough. So I'm very lucky in my case, I have a joint family. So there is a lot of people to entertain. And I do have domestic help also, which is 24/7. But there are a lot of things, ma'am. I would want you to encourage your child, rather than leaving the child and telling, आप बैठ के खेलो अपने toys से, mama आ रही है, mama को ये काम है, and feeling frustrated. I think you should tell your child to come along. Tell her that, or him, whatever is the gender, that come, let's, mama is cooking. Let's cook some food. Kids love to make dough. You're making a dough, you give a little dough to your child. Half an hour is gone with clay, without its natural clay dough. So I think you should encourage them to be a part of your domestic work. They love to sweep, they love to mob. And then, yes, because things are not easily available in the market, you should inculcate Montessori activities like sorting of the beets. Rajma, chole, chana mix kar do ek bowl mein. Tell the child to sort, and the child will sort, and tell that once this is done, you can come to mama. Give them paints, give them a lot of free play. Tell them today is your day. You make something out of whatever you want. Mama is there to help. So I think you have to, let the child go a little and give the child a little bit of independence rather than constantly monitoring. Because I feel development of the mind is better when the child is not being given a structured way of doing something. Just let the child, be more creative. Let the child do what he or she wants to. Maybe they come up something with something more unique than what you must have processed for them and given them for execution. So, and tell them to water the plants. Kids are loving to do yoga. They have a lot of energy. Tell them to do yoga. You also do. Whenever you're doing your exercise, tell your child, sit, you also do. They love to do all this. I think just make your child your best friend for right now, and they will probably do better than you. And I know it's a little frustrating, so you can take, as Ms. Gouri said, it's very important to have your me time. So yes, ask for help. Please ask for help from your older kids. If they have siblings, tell your husband to babysit for an hour. It's okay. Fathers also are equally responsible for this. And then please give them screen time. There is no harm in giving screen time. There should be lines for everything, but please don't feel guilty that, oh, I gave my child, maine aaj cartoon dikha diya, TV. There are a lot of educational programs which are online, which are, not as bad. Or you can just put on some music, rhymes, read books. When you are frustrated, you want your own time, give the child to the grandparents. If they live in the same house, nothing like it, it's a blessing. If they don't, then you just as spouses have to work it out and enjoy your own time. And I think this is the best time to bond with your child, because every time when we go to work, we are like, oh, office aa gaye, school aa gaye, abhi job jana hai, we don't have time to spend with our family. I want to be home, and now I would like to work from home. We have so many excuses, and now we are getting all this time to be home with our family. So we are like, oh, we are frustrated now. So I think we really need to keep up the positivity in ourselves.
Yes.
And because if you are positive, the entire family, mom is a glue again.
Yes,
Mom
yes.
is a glue. So please, you have to stay fit, positive, happy, enjoy your me time, and try to encourage your kids to be with you, around you. There'll be no insecurities, and there'll be a time they'll be like, okay, mama, I want to do it myself. You please do your work. They'll be so after a week, they'll be like, बहुत हो गया, मम्मी पूरा टाइम अपने साथ रखती है, सारी एक्टिविटी कराती है, mama, I'll go and color myself. So my daughter does that. Mama, please, you do your work. I'm going to take my crayons and colors. So try this out. This is going to work for you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. This webinar was indeed a unique one, and for which I thank all the 6 panelists. You made it unique. Thank you for giving us so much of your precious time, and thank you for sharing all these super tips with all the mothers. And I'm sure it will help them deal with all the COVID blues, and they remember these even after COVID. I'm very optimistic. I'm looking forward to life after COVID, Corona, A big thank you to all those who zoomed in. There were many takeaways for each one of us. And I also take this opportunity to thank the management of Delhi Public Schools, Nasik, Varanasi, and Nagpur. Most importantly, our heartfelt thanks to the IT departments of these 3 schools. It was they who made this entire Zoom process so seamless. Seems so seamless. It's not actually so. Thank you so much. So on a very positive note, here's to all the super moms. May we know them, may we be them, and a very, very happy Mother's Day to all of them. Thank you. Thank you so much, ladies.
Thank you.
And
Thank you.
namaskar.
Thank you. Thank you so much.